In the year 1998, a man named Masato Kuwahara, a hardware designer for Nintendo, came up with an idea for the popular Game Boy handheld console where it could turn any Game Boy into a digital camera. Initially, the Game Boy camera was not well received by Nintendo, but determined to make it work, Kuwahara approached Creatures Incorporated's president, Hirokazu Tanaka, also known as Chip Tanaka. He received this nickname for being the pioneer of chiptune music, with credits such as Donkey Kong, Super Mario Land, Kid Icarus, Metroid, and many more. With Kuwahara designing the hardware and Tanaka directing software development, things were coming together as planned, and what we got was this. This is the Game Boy camera. It has a 128 by 128 pixel CMOS sensor and can store up to 128 by 112 black and white digital images using a 4-color palette of the Game Boy system. It interfaced with the Game Boy printer unit, which utilized thermal paper to burn saved images from your Game Boy camera onto paper to make a hard copy. But we'll get to that part later. Anyway, you insert it into a Game Boy like you would any other Game Boy cartridge, and this brings me back. It's so aesthetically awkward yet perfect all at once. Let's turn it on. And the first screen of the game is some guy wearing a Mario mascot costume dancing very awkwardly. If you hold the D-pad button up, he dances a little bit faster. For the Japanese version, Mario actually dances a little bit differently. Now we're on to the actual game. You'll see we have 3 options: shoot, view, and play. But we're going to look at the view option first because it's the most lackluster. We have album and we have show. If you click on album, it's basically all of the pictures you've taken with your Game Boy camera. Oh yeah, look at that nerd lair. Looks so good in monochrome green. And if we go back and look at the show option, we have 3 different options: slideshow, animations, and hotspot, but I don't really care to look at any of these because they're not very interesting in my opinion. Next, we're going to go to play, where we get some sort of Space Invader type game. If you pick the B option, we get a ball game. Yeah, that's me alright. It's basically a Game & Watch game. If you haven't played this, well, it's pretty simple. You just move back and forth and juggle the balls. So many balls. Alright, we're gonna go back now and shoot the DJ option, which, if that sounds interesting to all you dubstep enthusiasts, well, you're gonna be sorely disappointed because we don't play that shitty dubstep crap here, man. This is chiptune, and it really shows Tanaka's contribution to the actual Game Boy camera. You can make your own chiptune music here, using your face as the DJ's avatar, which is pretty funny. Yeah, you can do a bunch of different stuff. Up the tempo, make it go a little bit faster. You have different sound bites that you can use, 9 in total. And that's really all this is. It's just a little fun chiptune minigame where you can make your own chiptune songs and save them to the Game Boy camera. It's pretty simple, but really effective as far as entertainment value, for me at least. And if we go back one more time to the Space Fever option and don't click any of the minigames, we can just play Space Fever itself. It's just a regular shmup, and if you like that on the Game Boy handheld, then you're gonna love this. The further and further you get, the more bosses you'll have to fight, and they're just heads of random, I'm gonna just assume they're programmers or testers, or I don't know who they are, but it's really funny every time they show up, and the music gets really intense when they do. Alright, now we're gonna go back and hit the shoot option, and you'll see 5 different things we can click on, but first, it's important to note that Jupiter, down in the bottom right corner, was one of the people that co-created software for the Game Boy camera alongside Creature Incorporated and Game Freak, the people who make Pokemon. Interesting little fun fact, I just had to mention it. Alright, if we click magic, we get a bunch of different Snapchat type filters. By today's standards, this is nothing special. You can manipulate pictures to make funnier pictures. It was pretty fun back then. Panorama to print out panoramic images on the Game Boy printer, and Game Face to put your face on the avatars for the minigames. Interesting. Alright, let's go back and hit the items button. This one's going to be a self-timer for the Game Boy camera, which is self-explanatory, and a time-lapse option, which I find very interesting for the Game Boy camera because this thing is kind of delayed when you're taking pictures or you're just looking through the actual screen while you're moving the camera around in shoot mode. Anyway, that's about all there is for that one. Alright, now we're going to go to the check option. This one, you can just check all the pictures that are on your camera roll, and you can delete them if you want. You don't have to. You can have multiple pictures of your Game Boy, or your little Gundam figure, or yourself. That's about it. And now we're going to go to Run, which I do not know what this is. You are now crossing the equator. Jonbo Nintendo. That's literally all it is. If you press any buttons, they don't do anything. If you press the A button, it just brings you back to the main menu. And you get this little sad boy. Sad boy. Let's go to the shoot option. And all shoot mode is, well, this is where you use the Game Boy camera itself. You take pictures and stick your tongue out like an idiot. That's about it. Alright, if you go back to the main menu and hit select, you'll open up more options. Link, special, edit, and doodle. Right here, you can add stamps or you can paint on images that you've taken in your album. And for this, there is a ton of different options. You can add Pokemon, you can add more Pokemon, you can add more Pokemon, and even more Pokemon. You can also add, like, characters and Japanese letters. You can add anime eyes, which I'm definitely going to do. A bunch of different stuff, and you can print all these out and save them. It's pretty cool. Alright, now we're going to use the paint tool, which is probably the worst paint tool I've ever used. It's like an Etch-a-Sketch, but even worse than that. Alright, if we go back to edit, this one's just basically editing pictures to make a flipbook. And then if we go to link, this is how we can transfer pictures to other people's Game Boy with a link cable. Alright, and if we go back to the menu and hit special for the last option, we have hotspot and compose, which I don't really understand how this works. I guess you can take two images and like fuse them together and it makes a fused image. I don't really understand it. I don't really care either. Let's just get to the printer part. This is the Game Boy printer. Originally retailing for $59.99, it came with everything you needed to get started. Nintendo also sold replacement paper rolls and universal link cables just in case you needed more paper or you lost your link cable. If we turn it over, it has a link cable port, a feed button for the paper, and an on and off switch, obviously, and the little cover for the paper rolls are right here, so you can switch them in and out. And on the bottom, we have the battery door, which holds 6 fucking AA batteries. Are you kidding me, Nintendo? Trying to give the Game Gear a run for their money, huh? Yeah. Ugh. I'm sorry. You connected the printer to the Game Boy using this universal link cable that's compatible with pretty much every Game Boy before Game Boy Advance. It's very simple to print out images using the Game Boy printer and camera. Link them up using the link cable, select an image you want to print out, hit the print button, and wait for the data to transfer to the Game Boy printer itself, and the magic will happen. And here's the result. Sadly, my printer is just getting too old. It won't heat up enough, so the results are abysmal. So, all in all, the Game Boy printer is a perfect metaphor for life. The older we get, the less hot we become, and the harder it is for us to print on thermal paper. And that's going to be all for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this trip to the year 1998 with me. And, you know, the Game Boy camera, it wasn't anything great as far as digital cameras, like, quality was concerned. At the time, it was a piece of junk as far as taking pictures, but we still had fun. And, you know, we were taking selfies back then before we had these glued to our hands. So, you know, it's just a curious little device, and I liked mine a lot. So, thanks for watching, you guys. I hope you got something out of this video, and if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified whenever I put up new videos, which is at least once a week, so there's always something to watch. Go ahead and check me out on social media. Links will be down below in the description, and I'll see you guys next time in the Nerd Lair.